Good morning. Good morning.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Monday's Morning Deuce. It's approximately 200 degrees in the garage studio right now. And nothing, not even that heat, can prepare me for the warmth that I'm sure I will feel on my feet very soon because I lost the P bet. I lost it. I didn't think I was going to lose it 7 months ago when I made it. I didn't think I was going to lose it when the Golden State Warriors had the best regular season in history. I didn't think I was going to lose it a week ago when they were up 3-1. And I didn't even think I was going to lose it at the end of the first half tonight. And yet, here I stand, a man waiting to have another man pee on his feet. I would say I'm disgusted with myself, but I think you have to have like a standard that's higher than mine to be disgusted in your like the bar is low enough that if anything, I'm just like a little disappointed in this happening. Just like disappointed that I allowed this to somehow happen. Yeah. Okay, so the basketball game. I mean, it sucked. I was on pins and needles the whole time. But in the end, I mean, LeBron is the best player in the world. He played like the best player in the world the last 3.5, 4 games. Most of the series, pretty much. He played like the best player in the world the last quarter. And the MVP of the league, Steph Curry, he was not even like the third best guy on his team tonight, or really the last 2 games. The craziest thing was it was tied. It was tied with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and only one basket was made in the last 4 minutes. These two teams went 1 for 17 in the last 4 minutes of play. One made basket. So if you don't think even the most intensely trained professional athletes get nervous when the moment gets huge, they went 1 for 17, and there were some easy makeable shots. So everybody gets nervous. Everyone, life is different under pressure, and some people, even the best, it makes everything tougher. But man, I mean, these are like 2 of the better scoring teams in the league. Golden State's one of the best in history. They scored the most 3-pointers in a finals game in history, and they still lost. I'm going to talk more about it, but first, I am going to play this beautiful voicemail that I have that was left for me by the victor, I guess my conqueror in this essence, the man who is preparing to take a leak. Here we go.
Mr. Espendo, this is Mr. D, Mr. MD. I appreciate a very competitive season. I enjoyed that bet. First and only time I will commit to something like that in my entire life. I'll be honest. I thought I lost. We came back. We came back down 3-1 in one of the great comebacks of all time. What a game. Right now, I will not pee for the next several days as I wait to urinate all over your shoes endlessly from the kneecaps down. I will pee like I have never peed before, and I will keep peeing. It will be the greatest victory pee of all time. I appreciate this bet. Forever will live in my memory. Once again, I will never do it again. And just remember, don't ever, ever, ever bet against me. Mic drop. Out. Thank you.
So there we have it. I think he took the high road, definitely more of a high road than me, because if I had won, we would have left him a voicemail live on the podcast, and I would have been way more of a jerk. I'm a humble victor when I beat people I don't know, but if I'm beating someone I do know, I am just rubbing that salt in the wound. He took the high road a little bit there, admitting he wasn't 100% certain, but then he basically added that he is going to pee with the fury of 1,000 suns. I mean, he said that he's attempting to pee as little as possible over the next several days. So I think we're going to, when the event goes down, there will be at least audio. There will be some at least audio captured. That was agreed upon. So I have my 7-year-old Paul Rodriguez Nike SB shoes, my Nike skateboard shoes, and it's time for them to go. I honestly might light them on fire after. Does fire make the smell of urine go away or just make it worse? I don't even know. And can you light damp shoes on fire? These are questions that I will probably find the answer to. Man, what a game. I mean, I'm just going to rant for 2 seconds. If you don't like basketball, I'm sorry. This is about the pee on the shoes bet. This is about what happened. I mean, Kyrie's shot with a minute left, that fadeaway three was unbelievable. Golden State has the best shooter in the league, possibly in league history, but he wasn't the hottest player on the court. And I think he forced a couple bad shots. There was a 40-foot three he took with a minute and a half left that it wasn't even close. I don't think he ever should have taken it. It's a hard spot, I think, when you're a team at that point because you want to go with the hot hand, you want to run the offense, but at the same token, you know you have the best shooter, and they deferred to him even though it wasn't his night. I don't think that was the right choice. I think maybe you play with somebody like Draymond Green who's playing out of his mind, or even Klay Thompson who was heating up a little bit. By the time they went back to those guys, they tried to set up a play for Klay. It was too late. They were already down 4. I think LeBron's block on Andre Iguodala from behind was one of the best defensive plays I've ever seen. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but to do a trailing block when you're that far out of the play to come from behind against a guy who's as athletic as Andre Iguodala. And the thing was, Iguodala went up, double pumped, and went under a defender, so the whole layup took longer than you would have thought, and LeBron still timed it perfectly to make that block. And he made 2 or 3 blocks like that during the game. But that one was unbelievable. I mean, that block coming from nowhere in the most critical moments, there hadn't been a basket since before the 4-minute mark, and that would have put Golden State up 2, and baskets were obviously very hard to come by at that point in time. That moment was massive. I mean, I don't know how he timed it so perfectly because the double pump slowed everything down, and yet still it was just an unbelievable block. If you followed my live tweeting on Twitter, the biggest moment of this game to me was what Steve Kerr did with Festus Ezeli. Festus Ezeli sucks. Andrew Bogut's out. He's hurt. Festus Ezeli sucks. I'm going to say it again. Festus Ezeli sucks. Let's say it one more time. Festus Ezeli sucks. He's very tall. He's not good. He doesn't provide anything good. The beginning of the game, they started Festus Ezeli. I didn't understand it. I didn't think it made any sense. Figured they were trying something new. Get off to a slightly poor start because of Festus Ezeli. They sit him on the bench. They come back a little bit. End of the first quarter. Down a point, I think. They were down a point. Maybe they were up a point, but there was a close game. Second quarter, they don't play Festus Ezeli at all. He doesn't play. They are winning at the end of the second quarter by 7 points. They didn't play him once. They played the small lineup the whole time. I go and said on Twitter they shouldn't play him. They shouldn't start him in the next period. There's no point. Don't play him. Play your smaller guys. Play Mo Spates. He had a great first half. He's a veteran. He does the same thing. Don't play Festus Ezeli. They played Festus Ezeli. Credit to the Cavs. They went right after him because they, like me and the rest of the world, except for the coaches on Golden State, seem to know that Festus Ezeli sucks. So Festus is in the game. Beginning of the second half, third quarter, he plays. He gets a foul, misses a shot, has 3 made baskets on him, totaling 7 points. And in those 3 minutes, he is basically out of the game and the entire lead is taken from them. And then I wrote on Twitter, at this exact moment, I swear to God, if Festus Ezeli gets any more playing time, I'm going to light my shoes on fire. And they didn't play him the rest of the third period. Got it to a very competitive game. I think it was tied, maybe even Golden State. No, Golden State was winning by 4 points or something like that. Beginning of the fourth quarter, what do? They put back in Festus Ezeli, and the Cavs are not stupid. Immediately, They go get Festus Ezeli on LeBron in a switch. LeBron hits a three. LeBron scores another point. The entire lead is erased. And then it was a tie game the rest of the way out, and they lost. If they never played Festus Ezeli the entire second quarter or any of the rest of the game, they would have won. I just don't understand it. I just don't get it. They had like other options. Even Verajao was giving him better minutes. Spates, I just don't get it. Ezeli was bad. He played 11 minutes in the game. I think he was minus 8 points in those 11 minutes, and they lost by 4. And essentially, they lost by 1 made basket. He was absolutely terrible. So, I'm not blaming Steve Kerr because in the big moments, Kyrie hit the big shot. Amazing fadeaway three. Steph missed 2 threes that he had great chance to make. Well, not a great chance to make. He took bad shots, but he had 2 threes, and he missed them both in critical moments. Kyrie made his. LeBron made the block he had to make. LeBron got to the free throw line, hit the free throw he had to make. They just made more plays. If Steve Kerr wasn't an idiot and he didn't play Festus Ezeli, they probably would have had a better chance. But damn, man. I mean, Festus Ezeli played 11 minutes of the game, and he was minus 9. That's terrible. That means in the 11 minutes that he was on the court, the Cavs scored 9 more points than Golden State. In a game that's this tight, in the Game 7 of the championship, if you win, you're the best team to ever play basketball, and you played this guy 11 minutes of trash, and they lost. He's trash. He's absolute trash. They lost 9 points in his 11 minutes, which is just terrible. Absolutely terrible. So Steve Kerr is probably going to be up at night for like a year thinking about that. For a literal year, maybe more. I don't think that goes away. I've talked to they've had interviews with athletes who miss the extra point in a game, or they make a bad switch or a bad play, or they blow something in a playoff game, and they can't think about it for anything else for a year. So I'm hoping Steve Kerr, if he's smart, he'll go home and think about those 11 minutes for the next year, until next year when Golden State is back at this point again, because he screwed me. I might as well have Festus Ezeli peeing on my feet, which I'm not that into because he's like a 7 foot tall African guy. That would probably be bad. But yeah, that screwed me. I guess that's the end of part 1. Oh, I'd be remiss if I didn't say Game of Thrones episode was unreal. It was absolutely unreal. If you haven't watched it yet, you should watch it. It was fire, literal fire. It was fantastic. They gave us everything we hoped for. All the build-up from the whole season was worth it. Culminated, one of the best ever. Why the show is worth watching. Absolute fire. So, at least I got to see that after the game and feel a little better about myself. But in general, I'm dreading the pee, and I'm dreading hearing about the fact. It's almost like I want him to just pee now so I don't have to hear about the fact that he's preparing to pee, because the worst part of the next several days is every time I see him, he's going to be like, this is my 3rd cup of coffee, haven't peed yet. Still holding it in. Hey, remember when you said I was an idiot? Remember when you said I was a moron? Remember said the Cavs would never win? He's just going to lord it over me until he pees. And so it's almost like I'd rather get it over. It's like, you know how sometimes the doctors, when they give you a shot and they're like 1, 2, and they just put the needle in on 2 so you're not ready for it? I want the pee to just happen now, because the more I think about the humiliation of what it's going to be like in the office, and too many people listen to this, so they're all going to know, but whatever. I pay my bets. And if you pay your bets good, I guess you can be a little bit more of a jerk when you win. I should try winning a little bit more often. This has been part 1 of the Morning Deuce. That's it. For part 2 today, it's a big switch. This isn't long. June 20th is a special day. It's my mom's birthday. Today's Monday, June 20th. And this is the first birthday that my family and I have without her. So I'm going to write a card like I did on Mother's Day. That helped me then. And anyway, that's it. If you have a great mom out there, just make sure you tell them you love them. today from me. Can never say it enough. But in honor of her and her birthday, I'm going to let Mom sing us out today. That's it. Morning Deuce. Later.
Maybe I'll hang around here a little more than I should. We both know I've got somewhere else to go. But I've got something to tell you that I never thought I would. And I believe you really ought to know. I love you. I honestly love you. You don't have to answer. I see it in your eyes. Maybe it was better left unsaid. This is pure and simple, and you must realize that it's coming from my heart and not my head. I love you. I honestly love you. I'm not trying to make you feel uncomfortable. I'm not trying to make you anything at all. But this feeling doesn't come along every day. And you shouldn't